we are perhaps taking on, in some ways, again, you know, a big challenge. I mean, Giulio Cesare is one of the great Handel works. It's got some of the strongest music, some of the most beautiful music, wonderful music for everybody really. Cleopatra probably ought to be called Cleopatra really, because the great music is hers. Again, very few performances of Julius Caesar outside of London have ever happened. Some just occasional touring performances really. So I think the swathe of England will really get Julius Caesar for the first time, and I think I'm rather thrilled that we've, apart from the fact that it's a favourite opera, I'm rather thrilled that we've managed to get that into the repertoire.
The conversation with Tim had been about Handel for a very long time. Tim is someone who is incredibly brilliant at dealing with enormous pieces. You know, the Midsummer Marriage and the Trojans were his first pieces here. Those are ridiculous pieces for first operas for a young director. So he has a talent with large forces. He did a lot of Wagner, you know, he's done Lohengrin. Recently, of course, he's just had a big success with Tannhäuser, the Royal Opera House. But the Handel conversation has been going on a long time, and because we're Opera North, and we have a kind of reputation for doing the slightly less obvious, and all directors like to carve new territory. They don't necessarily want to follow in the footsteps of famous productions. Tim and I, you know, aided and abetted by advice from people like Harry Bickett, have been down all kinds of byways. We've been in Berenice, we've been in Teseo, we've been in Flavio, Arminio, you name it, we've probably looked at it. And then I suppose the responsible management-y bit hit in, and we thought, well, that would be fun and great, but scandalously, we've only done 2 Handel operas here.
I think one of the reasons why Handel I've always been very attracted to is because we do have a lot of native talent in this type of voice size, if you like. There are some really talented mezzos, countertenors now. This is something that's changed over the last few years, and mezzo sopranos as well that one can employ for this type of repertoire. And I think also actually audiences love it. The music is absolutely stunning, and we haven't done that much Handel here, so I was very keen that we should. And of course it's one of the more well-known of the bigger Handel pieces. Actually, it's an enormous work. It's a very carefully worked out and very elaborate plot, but that involves really quite a large number of fabulous vocal parts. For instance, the countertenor part of Ptolemy is a wonderful role for any countertenors to get their teeth into, and the role of Cornelia is a wonderful female part. It's absolutely full of interesting vocal writing and fabulous characterizations, and of course the fact that it's called Julius Caesar gives it a type of resonance. People sort of understand. A lot of the characters in it, Cleopatra, Ptolemy, Pompey, although we don't see him, he's actually dead, but these are people whose names we are familiar with, and that just gives it that extra resonance.